Maybe it's time to defund Harvard. Joining us now is Chairwoman of House Republican Leadership, Elise Stefanik, who went to Harvard, if I'm not mistaken. So they won't play ball. They won't play on DEI, on anti-Semitism. What's up with that?
This is the epitome of entitlement that you're seeing by Harvard. Let's go back to where we were 2 years ago after October 7th. You saw a skyrocketing of anti-Semitism on Harvard's campus as well as other undergraduate campuses across the country. These universities famously did not condemn calling for the genocide of Jews, which is one of the reasons why Harvard's president was ousted and forced to be fired, as well as a plagiarism scandal. But what's important, Larry, is these schools get billions of dollars of U.S. taxpayer funds. They are not entitled to those funds if they are not protecting civil rights of Jewish students on campus. So yes, it is time to defund Harvard. The fact that they are going to defy the Trump administration's Department of Education requirements, it shows how out of touch they are with everyday American values.
We're talking about a lot of money at Harvard.
We are talking. They get $9 billion.
Ooh.
President Trump has paused $2.2 billion already.
Right.
More to come. And certainly from Congress's perspective, we will continue our oversight, being good stewards of U.S. taxpayer dollars. And the American people are with us on this issue.
But Columbia, I mean, looked like Columbia made a deal, but then they pulled back. So they fired one interim president, put another interim president. So far, I don't see anything. And also Princeton horsing around. They're not making any clear statements either, which kind of breaks my heart. But that's the way it's going. None of these schools, Penn, they're not changing anything.
Well, that is why it is time to make sure that we're holding them accountable. There is this sense of entitlement. And if you look at the faculty, the tenured faculty of all of these schools, they are so out of touch with American values. 97% of the faculty are self-identified Democrats, progressives.
Sure.
They are propping up these radical far-left ideas and really teaching anti-Americanism. The same pro-Hamas terrorists that are at these, I don't call them protests, I call them riots, because they are physically destroying property as well as physically assaulting students. They chant death to Israel. They also chant death to America. So we need to take significant action. President Trump has done that. What a difference that makes between Joe Biden and President Trump.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, the battle goes on, and good for Trump on that. Can you put an end to these rumors about an income tax hike?
We do not support raising taxes. The Republican Party stands strongly for cutting taxes. President Trump supports cutting taxes. He has said that in rallies all across the country.
Why is he talking?
We are committed to making sure that we're cutting taxes for hardworking Americans. It's the Democrats who want to raise taxes. We support cutting taxes.
I get that. But why am I hearing he has spoken to Speaker Johnson twice about raising the top income tax rate? I'm hearing J.D. Vance is proposing the same thing. I don't like it one bit. I'm hoping it's not true. What good would that do? By the way, the top end pays half the taxes in the first place. You'll just depress the economy. You'll also hurt small business. But I mean, where's the rumors coming from?
Well, certainly House Republicans have always been committed to cutting taxes. Hardworking Americans, whether it's small businesses, manufacturers, we want to make sure that we're boosting economic growth. The way you do that is by cutting taxes.
Besson says everything's on the table for taxes on the wealthiest. My pal, Scott Besson, everything's on the table for taxes on the wealthiest.
Well, certainly reconciliation has to pass the House, and we are committed to cutting taxes and making sure that we build on the success of President Trump's tremendous economic policies.
That's why I want you in the leadership. I know it's a heartbreak. You would have been a great UN. We need help. We need your help on this stuff.
Well, I'm proud.
Leadership.
I'm proud.
In case there's any wobbliness.
Well, I'm proud to return to House Republican leadership as chair of the House Republican leadership and working with the team to communicate with the American people and also to keep our promises, to keep President Trump's promises and pass his agenda.
I want to tell you, this is tax day, as I said for 100 times, and the show's only halfway over. But there should have been a concerted effort today to dispel any of these rumors. What you want to do is you want to lower the corporate rate to 15% for Made in America. Then you want to have no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, give the seniors some help on their Social Security benefits. That should have been the message. It's not the message. Instead, hosts, even in Fox, what am I going to do with these things that leave the door open for tax hikes on tax day?
Well, the good news, Larry, is President Trump is the master economic messenger. He is the one that proposed no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, cutting corporate tax rate and extending and making more significant the tax cuts. So I'm confident we will get this done. He has a House Republican majority that will deliver these significant tax cuts.
That is key. That is really important. That's why I'm glad you're there. You would have been great at the UN, but I'm glad you're right where you are. I'm mostly glad you came on set.
Thank you, Larry. It's always great to see you.
It's some great stuff. The chairwoman of the House Republican Leadership,